Now, this problem is involving a circumstance where there's a system of equations needed. Because you're looking at children, students, and adults in this theater. So, as you do this, you're going to come up with a system of equations and you want to be able to solve it. And typically, application problems, I mean, there are going to be circumstances where there's going to be a solution. Every once in a while, they might throw one at you where there's not going to be a possible solution for the circumstance. Or you're saying that this was describing an impossible event, which can happen, but usually for application problems, that isn't the case. The only thing I'm going to give you a hint on, and I'm going to give you a chance to run through and solve this really quick, is that there's three different things here, and basically you're given information about children tickets, student tickets, and adult tickets. Ultimately, I want you to figure out how many children attended the show. So it's not really asking you to find out how many of each group attended the show, just the children. So that may dictate how you choose to, eliminate variables and which ones you're going to be left with. So, but the idea is you have three different variables here. You're going to need three different equations that relate them together based on the information. Okay. So, as I mentioned before, we do have children, students, and adults in this problem. So, I'm going to let C represent the number of children, I'm going to let S represent the number of students, and I'm going to let A represent the number of adults. Now, we know that there's a seating capacity of 900, and we're told that the screening had full attendance, which means all 900 seats should have been taken up. So, that's where my first equation is going to come from. I know that the number of children plus the number of students plus the number of adults is 900. The next thing I'm going to be using is that, they're giving us the cost for a child seat, the cost for a student seat, and a cost for an adult ticket. So I'm going to use it, and I know that the receipts totaled $5,600. So basically, if I want to figure out how much money I earned from each group, much money I earned from children tickets, student tickets, and adult tickets, 4C would represent the amount of money I would have gotten from children tickets. 6S would represent the the amount of money I earned from student tickets, and 8A would represent the amount of money that I earned from adult tickets. If I add all those up, that should total the $5,600 that we had in total. So there is my second equation. The third equation is going to come from the statement that's kind of in the middle there. It says at a certain screening with full attendance, there were half as many adults as children and students combined. So using that, the number of adults equals 1/2 C plus S. That substitution is going to help me come up with two equations with just C and S, and then I'll take those two equations and just get it in terms of C. And that's the way I'm going to kind of go with it, because that's all I'm trying to figure out is what C is. So I'm plugging the 1/2 C plus S in for A. So in the top equation, A is just replaced with 1/2 C plus S. Same thing in the second equation, but since the A was multiplied by 8, I have the A being multiplied by 8. So as a result, the first equation, if I simplify it, becomes 1.5C plus 1.5S equals 900. And the second equation, once I do my 8 times a half and I add like terms, I have 8C plus 10S equaling 5,600. Now, usually I would typically do elimination in a situation like this because it's just a little easier with this. But since we haven't talked about that yet, I'm going to take the first equation. I'm going to subtract 1.5S from both sides, or 1.5C from both sides, and divide both sides by 1.5, and I would end up with S equaling 600 minus C. So again, I subtract 1.5C from both sides, and then I divide both sides by 1.5, making sure I distribute both terms. And now I have a term that I can replace S with. So 8C plus 10S equaling 5,600 can now be 8C plus 10 times 600 minus C equals 5,600. I simplify that. I'll subtract 6,000 from both sides, and I'll divide by -2. And I get that C is 200, which means that there were 200 children attending the show.